Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you for coming out on this lovely, warm, sunny evening, or something like that. No, it's horrible. It's horrible out there, but thank you so much for coming. You're more than welcome to the Bedfont and Feltham Area Forum, the first one of the new year. I'd like to start proceedings this evening, and I'd ask you to join me in standing in a minute's silence to remember the young man who lost his life on Monday evening. So if you would do that, I'd be very welcome. Thank you very much. Please be seated. So folks, just the protocol for the evening. Please note that members of the public can choose to record or report in other ways this public meeting. If you wish to do so, then please read the Council's protocol, which can be found on the Council's website. The Council asks that you avoid recording members of the audience who are not participants at the meeting. The Council will seek to facilitate this. However, anyone attending a public meeting does so in the knowledge that recording may take place and that they may be part of that record. So if we can all note that, thanks very much indeed. Can I take apologies for absence from members, please?
Councillor Nagra.
Councillor Nagra, thank you. Okay, item 3 is the minutes and matters arising from the last meeting. So if we could please all turn to our minutes, and I'm looking at page number 1. Turning to page number 2. Page number 3. Can we agree that as a true record? Agreed. Thank you, members. Okay, matters arising from the minutes. I have a statement here from TfL. This is regarding the question that George has raised before about the situation at Minibacks up on the top road there. An engineer has investigated, this is the response we had, the operation of this junction and confirmed that it is functioning correctly without fault. The traffic signals at this location operate on a system called Scoot, which utilises detectors placed in the road to detect vehicles and measure demand for each approach to the junction. The information is used to adjust the length of the green signal given to each junction approach in real time based upon live fluctuations in traffic demand. We've monitored the signal timings here and observed sufficient green signal time being provided to the eastbound approach. In both the AM and PM peaks, the east-west movement was receiving significantly more green signal time than the north-south movement. So that's the response from Chris Ford, Transport for London Customer Services. George, if you want to add anything to that, can you see me at the end? Okay, thank you very much. Another item is regarding the Feltham Boxing Club, which I believe Councillor Sidhu is going to update us on that. Thank you, Ragwinder.
Thank you, Chair. Regarding the Feltham Boxing Club. The building which they were looking at was Bedfont, Hatton Road, Bedfont Club. The property is in not very good condition, so the hiring of that property will cost lots of health and hazards. So for time being, that's not suitable, but we are working with the regeneration team to find alternative location, and we will keep the club posted about any future development or any future building if council feels suitable for the boxing club. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ragwinder. Yes, the Feltham Boxing Club did come last time, and we'll do our best. It's a really difficult thing finding facilities that are affordable and usable. So we've engaged, and we will work with them and do our best. The Little House is that former centre up in Bedfont, which is potentially can be used, but as Ragwinder's explained, we'll have to work on that one as we go along. But thank you very much indeed, members. I'm now turning to item 4, announcements. At this stage, I'd just like to make a statement regarding, on behalf of members and on behalf of the community, regarding what happened on Monday evening in Feltham High Street. I went to a meeting Monday evening, and on my way out I could see something had occurred, but on my way back I met the detective inspector in charge, who gave me the devastating news that a young man had lost his life. I'm aware that some members around this table were in a pretty bad state that night, and I know people in the community were too. I have never in my life experienced something like that. That is not Feltham, that is not what we're about. And it is with profound sadness that we have to acknowledge that tonight. But we are a strong community. This community during COVID came together wonderfully. Yeah, you often find communities maybe that aren't as wealthy as others, that they give more of something else. And boy, did this community come together then. I would ask this community now to work with the police, to work with us, to overcome this and to remember the strength we have and what we can achieve together. Now, on Friday night, I know that we managed to secure a facility for the Perfectly Imperfect group, working with those particular younger teenagers that are causing a lot of trouble in the high street. ASB, yeah? We've done a lot of outreach work, our adolescent services, our estates teams, and that was a result that was a long time in coming. I understand, Darren, that there's probably some money involved that would help as well, but let us follow up on that. So it's not as if nothing has happened. A huge amount has happened behind the scenes, which makes what then happened on Monday absolutely beyond dreadful. That's where we are. And we need to stick together. We mustn't let people divide us. We mustn't let people tell us that we're not strong, that we're not a good community, and that it's falling apart, because it most certainly is not. What I'd like to do now, and I'm going to ask, we're lucky that Sergeant Nikki Elvin's here with her colleague. Sorry, the glasses don't work particularly well. She's going to make a statement on behalf of the police, and at that point, I'm going to ask members of the public if they have any questions, which they can direct to Sergeant Nikki Elvin, members as well, so that everyone knows where we stand, what we're going to do going forward, and so that when we move on in the meeting to the open forum section, we can make that about issues affecting the community other than this one. I felt as chair, we have to deal with this first. It would have been remiss of me not to. So if I could ask Nikki, would you mind just to make a statement, including the reassurances on what's happening in the town, including with the Safer Neighbourhoods teams, and what was the situation at 5 o'clock on Monday afternoon regarding our S&T, which of course, as you know, is a question I asked the Governor via our Director of Community Services. Thank you, Nikki.
Good evening, everyone. For those who haven't had a chance to meet me, my name is Nikki. I'm the Sergeant of Bedfont, Cranford and Heston West wards. Obviously, we are here to address the horrific incident that took place Monday. I cannot go in detail more than what's been put out in the press. However, for those of you who haven't read it, there was a fatal stabbing on Monday evening involving an 18-year-old boy. He was pronounced dead in the ambulance on his way to hospital. Within 24 hours, we had 3 suspects arrested. One of those has been charged and has been put before the court this morning. That's one for affray and offensive weapons, and 2 have been bailed. The CPS wanted more investigation into it than we could manage within the 24 hours that PACE allows us to hold them. We did have a 12-hour extension on top of that. We're not looking for anyone else in connection with this offence. We've been very proactive in the wake of this. We've put in a section 35, which is our dispersal powers. That gives us a direction to force people to leave the area and not return within a 48-hour window. We also have a section 60 in place, which is our stop and search powers if we believe there may be or there has been any violent disorder occurring, which obviously was quite present that evening. We have tried to increase our presence before and after this event. We've had our TSG, which is our tactical support group. They've been in the area supporting, and we have had increased presence on the street. Now, that doesn't mean increased officers, because we cannot produce officers just out of thin air, but the officers that we do have been working incredibly hard and incredibly long hours to make sure that there are presence of the police on the street. Our PCSOs work incredibly hard. They're always around to try and give reassurance that we are here. In regards to that evening, 2 police officers were in the area. Both arrived on scene within 4 minutes of the first notification that there was a male in the high street with a knife. The first officer arrived on his push bike and gave life-saving treatment. However, unfortunately, due to the nature of the wound, that was unsuccessful. We are supporting our officers because that's quite a harrowing and horrific thing for anyone to have to deal with, and the officers back on the street immediately trying to police the community that we all care about just as much as you do. If you do need to get a hold of the police in regards to this, you can phone us on 101. You can also phone Crime Stoppers. The number for that is 0800 555 111. If anyone needs to jot that down, I can repeat that for you at the end. You can quote the CAD number, which is 5431 of the 12th of January. But again, if you say it's about the Feltham murder on Victoria Road, that will also link them to the same one. We have been working really hard to try and reduce knife crime, and I appreciate, as we were discussing earlier, statistics don't mean anything in moments like this, but we have reduced it, and we are continuing to work with charities such as Rise and Thrive to try and stop youth of the today having knives on the street. At the moment, we haven't come up with a magic solution to it, but we are trying our absolute hardest to give education, to increase stop and search powers, to try and find knives and take them off the street.
Thank you, Nikki. At this point, I will take questions. I knew that would happen. I will take questions from the floor. If anyone has a question to ask of the police, I'd ask that they make it respectfully with the family in mind. Are there any questions from the public who would like to know any further on this that we're doing or what's happening? There's a gentleman at the back.
Thank you for your efforts.
Could you give your name, please, sir?
Malcolm Child. Yeah. Is the shortage of police in Feltham due to funding, or just you can't recruit them?
I remember my microphone too. A lot of it, unfortunately, is down to funding of officers within the Met as a whole. I believe we are slightly under numbers. However, we are trying our utmost to get more officers into Bedfont. That's the only ward that we currently have which is understaffed. We are missing 1 PC, which we will be getting next month. They are coming from another team within the London Borough of Hounslow. Sorry.
I know that in the past, Nikki, we have got extra funds and resources from neighbouring boroughs to increase patrols, which we've got in the town centre. But of course, that is no consolation at this time, but I think it's important that we make that point. There you are. Are there any further questions? Gentleman over there, could you give us your name, please?
Yes, Jerry.
Jerry, hello, Jerry.
Yep, sorry, Nikki. You mentioned stop and search. Can you tell us how many times in the last month or over the last 12 months stop and search has actually been used in the Hounslow, Feltham area?
Unfortunately, my brain doesn't quite work like that. I'd love to be able to give you statistics off the top of my head, but I don't have them. But that is something that I can go away, get the statistics, and give to the councillor, so it's here for next month. But we, officers, when obviously the power needs to be used alongside grounds. So if the grounds are there to do stop and search, our officers always do. In fact, I sent 2 of my officers on a stop and search training day only last week with our TSG, just to up their knowledge and their confidence surrounding it, so we understand it's a really important power we have and we use it. And obviously section 60 gives us a blanket power. Anyone in the area, they get searched, which was put in after this incident.
Thank you.
Yes, and just to back up on that, you know, the amount of outreach, the amount of connection with our SNT, the local Safer Neighbourhoods team, and the police that I've seen in response to what we requested in the last year to 18 months has been very good. And we're now starting to get results. But again, in light of what's happened on Monday, it just seems, it falls rather flat. But we stay strong, we work at it. And thank you very much, Nikki and colleague. I can't remember your names. It's Matt O'Brien. It's Matt O'Brien. Of course, I've met you, Matt, before many times. So thank you very much indeed for coming, folks. I think you do have details of how people can get in touch with the, what's it called? I have it here, the Met Engage, which is a card where you actually, if you scan that barcode, you can report intel or intelligence. It's not for reporting crime, but it's for intel, isn't it? And apparently, Nikki, could you tell us just how good this is and why people might want to use it?
I've just got my wonderful PCSO, Max, who has been working so hard to recruit people for this. And at the end, if anyone wants to come and give us our details, we can put you on our system, make sure that you receive everything.
Hiya. So Met Engage is a new initiative that the Met has rolled out that allows all of you to get in contact with your ward officers. So as we've got Alan Mitchell on our wards, he let us know about an issue about trespassing. With Met Engage, it allows us to circulate that information more clearly. With our local problems, intel is the only thing that holds us back from doing more operations. So if you've got speeding down your roads, let us know on Met Engage. If you've got strangers gathering in car parks, you smell a very strong smell, maybe cannabis, let us know on Met Engage. It is such a good tool to allow you to get in contact with your officers on one-to-one. For us, we've got R4, you've got Feltham North where you've got 4 more there, and it just allows you to get that personal connection with your ward officers, and they give you updates about what they're doing in your area to support your local problems. Nothing far away, it's all local to your wards. It has helped us dramatically with our ward problems, so I'd highly suggest signing up and letting your ward officers know what's going on in your areas. And Alan Mitchell has the...
Okay, folks, yes, I'd also like to draw your attention to the Hounslow Youth Counselling Service aimed at young people between the ages of 11 and 25. I've been given a leaflet here by one of our stall holders earlier. Again, if you speak to Emily Miller, if you'd like to know more about this before the end of the evening, then please do. This is here, it's a very good service, and we should use it if we can. Okay, I'm going to move on now to our next item, and it is a community item, and we're going to welcome the Feltham History Group. Now, folks, you will be aware that obviously Richmond, Kingston upon Thames, Twickenham, our more illustrious neighbours who claim to have this wonderful history, royal connections. Well, Feltham's history, as a lot of us know, is every bit as good. It's not just Freddie Mercury, it's not just Aston Martin cars. It's the agricultural history from the 19th century. The fact that we used to produce so much fruit and veg down on the high fields and down in Lower Feltham. And when the railway came to Feltham, that fruit and veg then went on the train down to London and off to Covent Garden to feed all Londoners. I think that's wonderful. A.W. Leach, or was it Smith? No, A.W. Smith, he was the guy. Thank you very much. Leach was a guy who designed football grandstands, wasn't he? That was someone else. So I'd very much like to welcome Jane and Tony from the Feltham History Group, and I'm delighted to see the chair, Alan Rice, is here tonight, a man who's done incredible work to make the Feltham History Group what it is. So please, folks, let's welcome them forward. They're going to give us a little presentation about the work of the Feltham History Group. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for inviting us, Alan. Feltham History Group was formed on the 7th of July 1997. First of all, they met at Longford School, which is now Rivers Academy, and we will share with you a little bit of the group's past, present and future. So we start with some of the things that we do. We keep records of past events. For example, this image on the screen is the official opening of this place, Feltham Assembly Hall, back in 1965. In this picture, there are two former members of our group. Peter Watson, who is really the person who formed it all, but in this picture he's 15 and wearing Boys Brigade uniform. And Eddie Mende, who many of you will have heard of, who was very prevalent in writing an article in the Middlesex Chronicle for 30 years. So he managed to come up with a different article every week for 30 years. I might just add that he actually stopped doing that because, one, his computer broke, and two, he was unable, I think, at the age of 95 to carry on driving to do that job. So Eddie, who later received an MBE for his work at Longford School with children in there, and he is in the picture on the right-hand side, standing at the back. He's the one with the glasses, and he at that time was a Boys Brigade officer.
Sorry, the one immediately in front, the one in...
Okay. Right, so you've got the man in the glasses at the back on the right-hand side, and then the boy of three, the middle one of the three, the main three that you can see directly in front of Eddie, he's Pete Watson, who was the founder member of the Feltham History Group. So our Feltham History Group aims to keep accurate records of buildings of historic value, and we would appreciate being contacted with details of any buildings which are due to be either demolished or changed in appearance. This would ensure records are kept up to date. We would hope to be consulted about any other local changes, such as new road names, at the planning stage, so that the historical status of the area is at least considered. From the start, we have been instrumental in producing various exhibitions and talks at libraries and other locations, together with participation in local fairs such as Bedfont Lakes Country Fair, and we did actually take part at the Feltham Fete last year in August. As part of the Millennium celebrations, we, with Feltham Arts, organised an extravaganza not practised since 1842. This was called the Beating of the Bounds. For those of you who are not familiar with such an ancient English tradition, it was held annually by the church to familiarise villagers of the extent of the parish lands and the area. So they used to more or less walk around the edge of it. In the pictures, you will also see some people dressed up for the occasion, including somebody who did not want to come to the front, but is sitting at the back there. I seem to be missing a bit. Can you go back one, please? No. I'll just have to ad lib it. So the group also took part in the VE Day celebrations of the 60th anniversary, as it says there, in 2005. And again, some familiar faces to some will dressed up for the occasion and took part in the celebrations. Yeah, I've done that, that's fine. Okay, so now the next page. More recently, some of the group's members have been involved with local events, often in collaboration with other local groups, such as Railway 200, with Feltham Station Adoption Group, and in consultation with South West Trains. So again, some people in the room were involved with the picture you can see at the top, which says Feltham Railway Station at the top. And that was a timeline which started in 1086, and it can be found by the lift on the Waterloo side of the station. So if you're going to Waterloo on the train, go to the next to the lift and you can see a much bigger version of this. And it's really user-friendly because it's not, really difficult to read pictures. It's got sort of almost cartoon-like pictures, so it's very child-friendly as well. And the captions that go with it show the date of the picture that the picture relates to, and then there's a small caption underneath explaining what the event was. Lots of other things like that we take part in, or members of the group take part in, but this is just a flavour of some of the things we do. So Feltham has a history of dating from the time of King Edgar, who reigned from 943 to 975 AD, and it was known then as Feltenham or Feltham. And as there's a map here which is very difficult to see, but it shows Feltham at the time of the Enclosure Act in 1802. So to finish, we'll just tell you about now. The group meets on the first Tuesday in the month, February to June and September to December, at Christ Church, which is in Hamworth Road, and the postcode is there, where in addition to items of interest and forthcoming events, we also have a short talk about something to do with the history of the area, and it's given by a member of the group. And people in the group spend a long time making presentations and making sure all their facts are historically correct and as far as possible correct as well. And the group also provides free history walks, 3 a year, and there are also spring talks which we've just had confirmed are going to be at St Dunstan's Church later on, and as soon as we've got the dates available, we will make those available on the website. So I thought there was the contact us. We've got a leaflet, so if anyone would like, so we've got this leaflet on our table at the back. So if anyone would like a copy of that, it gives details of how to contact us. And Alan Rice's contact details are also available on the website.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Tony. Put your hands together, folks. our history is every bit as good as anyone else's. And thank you, and thank Alan and the rest of the team. Will can't be here tonight.
Tony's got a question for you.
Who is actually
How many people have actually seen
or even know about it?
or even know about this timeline on the station? A few people. Yeah. So you know, just ask them if you can go and have a look at it if you haven't seen it.
It's wonderful. That's brilliant. Yeah.
it's
The
very
Doomsday Book. Feltham's in the Doomsday Book.
Yeah.
1086. Okay, once again, folks, thank you very much indeed. Feltham History Group.
Alan.
Okay, folks, so moving on, we now come to our open forum section where we take questions from members of the community on things that are important to them. As I said earlier, with the tragic incident on Monday, I'd ask people to leave that to one side, and if they need to speak to the police subsequently, then please do. This is about local things as affecting us now in and around the town. So if there are any questions, Emily is there with her microphone. She'll come to you. And if you wouldn't mind giving your name first, sir.
So I'm Russell from Bedfont, and I'd like to talk about
Hello,
how
Russell.
Bedfont has changed considerably with health and safety recently, with the north side of the Staines Road, which is commonly known as Bedfont High Street. I think you're probably going to mention it a bit later about your action plan, but it's really dangerous now. You can't walk there at all. All the trees and all the roots are coming up, and it's not just the roots, but it's also escalating elsewhere as well. Now, I hear somewhere that you couldn't deal with it because some of that land is not council land. It belongs to the shops and so on. But you must be able to do something because it's a health and safety issue. And of course, when it's raining and it's snowing, and which we haven't had too much of lately, thankfully, but also when it's icy, it's extremely difficult to walk down there. Now, if it is the responsibility of the shops, surely they must understand that, you know, without people walking down that path, they're not going to go into the shop. So it's a joint venture, I'd imagine, that you have to take part in. Also, the place has just become so rubbishy now. The litter bins are not cleared. When all the hedges have been cut, you can see all of the litter being thrown into the hedge areas, and the bins are not being collected. Now, when it gets windy, of course, the wind blows, so it all goes everywhere. And people can't put stuff in the bin, so therefore they're dropping it next to the bin. So the whole place is becoming a mess. Now, if you're going to tell me it's because of Christmas, because of the arrangements with bins, this was going back many, many months now, as the trees. The trees don't suddenly produce roots overnight. And the enforcement doesn't seem to be done very well, because I have an example here of where a bag has an enforcement, I'll give it to you afterwards, where you can see that an enforcement sticker has been put on the bag to say that it needs to be removed, and someone could be fined £1,000 for doing so. And all that's happened is a sticker's been placed on that bag in October. So you can't be enforcing it particularly well, otherwise that bag would not be there.
Okay, could you just make the question, just posit the question?
So the question is, what are you doing about the health and safety of the high street side? What are you doing about clearing the bins? And what are you doing about making sure that you don't just play the game by sticking stickers on black bags? And I'd like to ask a commitment from you that someone's going to go there from a health and safety point of view really quickly before somebody hurts themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. I know when it comes to the bushes and things like that, and people drop litter, you know, that they should have better standards than that. But I do know our teams do empty those bins, and they are on a regular thing. Yes, you've got that item there. Yes, I will take that up for you as well. But they do such a good job around the town. It's very hard to. No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, I will take that away and do that. Yeah, that should have been cleared up. You're absolutely right there. But I know the teams have, in the last 6 months have picked up and done their rounds and have increased their rounds. I know we've requested it in the town centre here. So if it's not happening in Bedfont, then I certainly shall chase that up for you with members from Bedfont. Councillor Sidhu will pick that up. But you mentioned the High Street, which is a valid issue. Can you pick that up as well? Ragminder, thank you.
Can I answer? Chair? Can I answer?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, regarding High Street, so previously that High Street used to be cleaned once in a week, now it's 3 times in a week. So 3 times a week, the litter picker comes there and get it cleaned, and then if it is still not up to the standards, if you report it, it will be cleared within 24 hours. So I'm
Sorry, can you let Ragwinder finish, please? Thank you.
sorry.
No, just let him finish, please. Thank you.
And again, regarding the High Street about the trees, if you can send, you have my email address, if you let me know which particular tree and in front of which shop it is, so I will then get back to the shopkeeper and I will update you the progress on that. And the third one was, what was the third one? That's it. Yes, yeah.
No, Ragwinder will see you at the end of the meeting on that. Okay, yeah, would you like a microphone just to follow that up? Yep, I appreciate that.
Must have noticed by now that trees do not happen suddenly. These routes have been like this for a while. So you're asking me to tell you which shop that as councillors, if you walked down there, you would have known that. In fact, I think 3 of you did a walking session a little few months ago, so you would have noticed it for yourselves. You don't need us to report it.
Again, if there is any particular, I can take it up with you, and then we can try to resolve that.
You want to go? Put your hand up.
Okay, a hand at the back. Could you let us know who you are, please? Stand up.
My name's Elaine Lloyd.
I've got to give you the mic, Elaine. Is that all right?
I live at Bedfont Green, where there are beautiful churches, and there are a couple of historic houses there. Fawns Manor now, well, is in a bad state. It has around it, I have on my phone, and I'll show you later if you like, a 10-foot green wire fencing round it.
Sorry, which building is this? I can't hear it.
Fawns Manor.
Okay.
On Bedfont Green, yes. And when it was purchased by, when Mr. Sherborne died several years ago, and it's just gone into disrepair. All the fittings were torn out of it, and it wasn't kept like it should be. And even the council know that he even tore the people that live there, dismantled the curb so he could get his lorries into the garden, which he had to reinstate. And now he has put this 10-foot wire around the property, and it is disgusting. And
okay, so your question is?
Yes. Is somebody keeping an eye on these houses? There's also Bennett's Farm that's up for sale.
Okay, yeah. Can I ask Councillor Sidhu to come in on that, because he has some knowledge of that particularly? Thank you.
Chair, I know of the problem, because when the illegal footpath was made, driveway was made by the owner. So we really, council officers really worked hard to get that reinstated, and he was fined, the owner of the property. Yes, and so for now, I'm not aware of that the wiring he has done, but I will have a look, and I promise you we'll work on that.
Well, the children get inquisitive about this property, and they cut this wire. And of course it sticks out, and of course people are using the paths. It is dangerous.
Okay, Mrs. Lloyd, Ragwinder will follow that up. It is a beautiful home, and it should be protected and looked after, and we shouldn't have those sort of anomalies taking place.
And Bennett's Farm, don't forget Bennett's Farm.
And Bennett's Farm, thank you very much.
Councillor, just to say, I'll take the residents' details so we can keep in touch.
Darren's got his hand up. Down the front.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. And thank you for everyone in the community being here tonight. It's just a little bit of a riddle, really, everything that's going on. We know what's happened Monday. I'm not going to directly get involved in that. We somewhat from 2 years ago, a summit that was held, we got 5 young children lost lives. Right? Now, I would like to ask you a question. Do you know how much one murdered person costs the system? Do you have any idea how much money that one murdered person, one lost life like that way, what we've experienced the money cost system? You know, give us sort of 1.8 to 3.2 million. There's organisations like Rise and Thrive and Perfect Imperfect. We do so much. We're embedded out in the community, you know which we are. We're in a situation where everything's escalated. This situation has happened in front of 2 members of my staff, right? We're burning candle wicks at all ends. We're due to run out of money. And that's one of the big problems, right? So everyone keeps coming up with about the problem and about the solution, but no one's living in the solution. Everyone keeps trying to reinvent the wheel. But I really want to know, as councillors, as the community, what everyone's going to do to step in and do their bit. I know it's a bit of a riddle in this. There's so much to answer for, you know, before we end up with another dead kid. 2 years later, we've got 5 dead kids, right? And the solution is in the work that we do. And if everyone jumps on board and does their bit, including councillors, like I'll be calling a summit very soon, that's in progress, and someone will be sending each and every single one of you an invitation. But if I sum up what we're doing, the community needs to feel safe. What are each and every single one of you doing to invest in your community in a way to wipe out this number one problem? It's not trees, it's not bin bags, it's not the bushes, you know, it's the shit that goes on within the community, excuse me for swearing. There's so much of it. That high street's getting terrorised. And it'd be really nice to see people come along, not for pictures, to come and invest as councillors, and it counts for everybody across the community. I'm calling it out now. We're burning wicks at all ends. We've nearly run out of readies, money, yeah? But I want to know what each and every single person at this table is doing to invest in their community to drop all this stuff.
Yeah, you know, Darren, we've supported you a lot in recent years. Securing that space, even though I know you've got funding issues, was something that we worked really hard for with the leadership of the council and the Senior Director of Children's Services. And obviously the work that we've done over the last year to 18 months with the outreach, with the adolescent services. But of course, we still have this issue, yeah. And it may be a funding issue, it may be to do with money. I think we've made progress.
To be honest with you, it's real slow progress because March, we burnt out of money. You know what I mean? This is why we got hold down a number of different things, a number of different directions. We're lacking volunteers, we're lacking the community getting involved. A lot of people are scared to get forward. But what I'm saying is about how do we do this as a collective?
Aaron, you met with the leader and the Director of Children's Services on Friday. Did you raise this particular issue of funding then whilst discussing?
Right, no, this is a separate topic because what it is, it's great, fantastic, you give us a building. There's one building with a little bit of funding. Now, what I'm talking about is on the mass scale of the problems where we've got another dead kid, right? That we're outreach, everything is needed every day. I can list because everyone keeps going, what is the solution? And I'm hearing the same old crap getting talked around. We are the solution, we've got the solution. And what would be nice, financially, morally, ethically, and you know what I mean, just if people jump on board and support us in every which way, because I hear a lot of talk across the board, all services from council. I'll call out anyone who sits in front of me. Like, I've heard a lot of talk from every direction and no one's stepping in. Now we're at the point, like I say, my candle's burning out now. Mine and Siobhan's is nearly done. We're nearly out of money, everything. And I'm being serious. The police are doing an amazing job, but I hear them getting called out a lot of time. These lot up here, they do an amazing job. There's only so much they can do. But someone in the middle like us, the crossover between all organisations, whether it be police, council, everything, we work across the board. Remove us from the situation, what has that community got left there? What have our young children? You know, we're burning at all ends, you know. And I just hear a lot of talk. I hear not a lot of people living in a solution. I hear problem.
Okay, Darren, you've made that point. You have my commitment, as you know, and Maddie here, and we'll continue, and we will make that, we will go back to the leadership on that issue of funding, because you say you've got you need that resource in order to make it work. We'll do everything we can to make sure you get it, you know, that space.
I appreciate that. I've pulled a few strings already, so someone will be in touch, but I really love to hear, and listen, I'm throwing it out there now because I'm nearly done with all this, right? I'd like to hear what each and every single person can bring to the table, where it's not about coming around getting photos. I want part with none of that, right? And it's not about a political. It's everyone put all their opinions and everything aside, and let's be there to serve the community thoroughly and our children, so we've not got another dead kid. We can spend millions on a dead kid,
Darren,
but we can't invest in our own community.
Okay.
That don't make sense.
I will ask members individually to contact Darren and say what you can do, what we can do collectively. That's the question that's been asked. I think it's a fair question. And I'd ask each member to make that commitment to you.
That would be fantastic.
You know about Maddie, you know, because we see you a lot.
But I would love a collective, not just individuals and not on a part-time basis. I know people are busy with their lives, but people do a little bit and then see you later. We've got a dead kid, then it's what you're doing about it.
Okay, Darren. Yeah, thank you. That's the commitment. And we have a hand at the back. I can see, it's Mrs. Lloyd again, I think.
Mrs. Lloyd again, yes. I would like to know...
We generally, Mrs. Lloyd, only take one question for one person per meeting, but because you're lovely, Mrs. Lloyd, we will take one more.
I would like to know who gave permission for that part of Bedfont Green to be turned into a full-scale football pitch. Now that piece of land, people go through to hatch it. People in wheelchairs are frightened. They're going to be kicked by the footballs. And I've had my front door kicked in as well because I objected to it.
Mrs. Lloyd, I'll ask Regwinder to respond because I think he'll have more local knowledge on that.
They are just children around there. They don't have a permission to...
Come a bit closer, councillor. A bit closer to the mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, they don't have a permission as such to play football there, but it's a green there, then children kicking the ball. So if there is any... Yes, and they take it away when they finish.
They play there right into the evening, and people that walk across there have got children. They cannot walk across the green.
I haven't had any complaint regarding those children, but if there is a problem, I will take that from you. I haven't heard any problem from those children. They come and play football and then go. On one hand, we are saying we should do something for the children, and now we don't want to play football.
Okay, Mrs. Lloyd, can I ask you to... Gazza, can I ask you to discuss this after the meeting with Regwinder? Thank you, Justin. Thank you. So yes, Mrs. Lloyd, if you take that with Regwinder at the end of the meeting.
Councillor, next.
I'll take George. I won't take him, but I'll take his question.
I somehow knew that. I've got to press the button or anything. Is it working? Yeah. First of all, getting back to the lady for the football, in the 60s, Bedfont Football Green was started there by Tommy Fountain and a lot of local boys. We ended up in the West Middlesex Sunday League, and we played abroad, etc. So it has got a bit of a history of football, Bedfont Green, which I was a trainer of. Anyway, that's that, okay? My question is about my old electric bikes all over the place again. I mean, at the corner of Bedfont Lane, and there's about 50 of the things. Do we need 50 of them there, laying around? In Bedfont High Street, there's about 30. Another 20 up by the Beehive. Do we need so many? I mean, I don't think they should be here at all, personally, but why so many of them? Especially this time of year. Who's going to hire a bike in the middle of January? So who's responsible for it, making that decision? We'll have these bikes, and we'll have them all over the road, in people's way, left everywhere, in the road, on the pavement. It's just an eyesore, and I will never not moan about it. I'm sorry, but there you are. That's my question.
Okay, George, yeah. We previously had problems with line bikes, big problems, and their misuse. With the current arrangement, there's much less of that. When you find on our estates these sort of parking bays for the bikes, as I found down in Lower Feltham, sometimes they're overcrowded, but there are other bays where that capacity can be shared. Now the company, if you contact them, they respond usually within 24 hours. And I was amazed. They actually came down with a van and they moved X number of these bikes from down on the Chertsey Road, just off the Chertsey Road, up towards Feltham Hill. So they can intervene and they can do that. The thing is how you contact them. Whether there's too many bikes, obviously there's a lot in the town centre, which would be seen as a hot spot for that. That's possibly another question, but they want as many people to use them as possible. But you can get them moved from one bay to another if they're overcrowded. They certainly were in Lower Feltham. They'd fallen over, some of them, but the next day there was only 3 or 4 left. Ragwinder, do you want to add to that? Because you used to hold the portfolio, I
Yes, in Bedfont there used to be nearly, I think, 11 spaces, reduced to 4 now. And there will be review again, I think, coming up this October. So where it will be again assessed whether to increase or reduce the parking base.
Okay, yeah, if you can, oh gosh, we are not alone. So George, maybe you can put that question directly to Ragwinder, who we can take away at the end, yeah? There's a gentleman with his hand, I think he spoke earlier.
Only to the police. This question is directed at you. Last year, at one of these meetings, I asked when the Feltham roadworks at the bridge were going to be completed with the proposed cycle path and footpath, and you told me that it was sometime this year. Is that still on?
I believe we're in phase 3, is that right, Lily? And where are we? 2026. The last I saw was the financial year 2026-27, so it could possibly go over into 2027. But please don't quote me on that.
Just kicking the team down the road.
You can quote me on that because I've said it. Again, if you email me directly, let me go back to the planning team to get an update, because there's been all sorts of things going on.
Thank you.
I'd welcome that. Thank you. Oh, there is a hand. There's a gentleman who's got his hand up at the back.
Dear Chair and Council, and ladies and gentlemen, my name is Karna Guru, the ex-veteran. I have, there is a lot of questions, but I want to raise one issue regarding the Bedfont Lake. I live in Bedfont. Okay, I don't know this point has been raised before or not. My concern is that accessibility of public spaces. Bedfont Lakes Country Park is a valued local asset. Residents regularly highlight the issues such as poor toilet facilities, flooding, lack of seating, and limited accessibility. Alongside resident report ongoing problem and environmental maintenance, overgrown weeds, litter, pets issue, which affect pride in our neighborhood, which is, I don't know, this point has been raised or not. I can see that in Bedfont, I used to go running, walking. It's one of the best Bedfont Lake. But unfortunately, there is only one toilet facility right far away. I have some problems. There is a problem. And also, the people coming with the wheelchairs, they don't have any accessibility, which is sometimes they like to go around, but there is no access for them. So therefore, I'd like the council to provide to improving the facilities in Bedfont Lakes, review environmental maintenance, schedule to ensure local concern, respond promptly and consistently. I hope the council will continue to listen and closely President the works and practical environment. Thank you for your listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bedfont Lakes is a wonderful, wonderful local nature reserve, special place. When I go there, it always seems to be in pretty good nick, but you've raised some valid questions there, certainly because the toilet facility has come up in the past. I'll ask Councillor Lily Bath to come in on that. Thank you, Lily.
Thank you. I was going to come in on, thank you for the question and comment actually. I was recently, I think, appointed on the Bedfont Lakes Trust, so I've only attended one meeting, but it was a very positive meeting where we had an update on what we'd like to do in Bedfont Lakes in terms of better recreational facilities, and toilets, etc. And because we evaluate it as a great community asset, but we also recognise that there could be improvements on it. So there is a big piece of work being carried out at the moment. So I wanted to assure you that there is a commitment there and an understanding of how it can be improved, but very, very early days yet. So I'm not up to speed as to give you a full sort of update, but definitely wanted to let you know that there were some healthy discussions about possibly bringing in some interesting things at Bedfont Lakes. So I know they used to have swimming there some time back, but that stopped after that fatality. So there might be that we bring it back again. So because I think that was valued as well. So there are discussions taking place. So I'm always happy to keep people informed I'm new on the trust at the moment, so happy to keep people informed as and how things develop. Thank you. But thank you for that question.
Yeah, so keep in touch with Lily on that, sir, if you want to do it. Okay, folks, that's actually time up on the open forum. So it's time to move on to our community action plan. Where is my document? It was here. And we're going to start with the Feltham North councillors with their community action plan updates. Can I ask Kuldeep Tak, please, to begin? Thanks, Kuldeep. Nice and loud, folks, as well.
Thank you, Chair.
Use the mics.
Well, I have two items in the action plan. The earlier one is the cash machine that we had just outside the Central Parade. The cash machine has been removed, and a defibrillator and a telephone has been installed in its place. You might have seen if you came from the Feltham station side, if you walked here, you might have seen it in there. The other one was the derelict signage, which unfortunately we still have there. In December, the planning team advised that the contractors attended the site to carry out the scheduled works to remove it. But however, it was identified during the visit that the sign is wired directly into the main electrical grid, and as this falls outside of the scope, they are unable to proceed with the disconnection at this time. The positive news since that has been the planning are now in contact with SSE, the electric provider, to plan this removal appropriately. The team will provide an update once the dates for the removal has been agreed with SSE. The second point was regarding the Sparrow Farm road resurfacing. The last update we had is about seeking the funding. It's still the case. The funding for 26-27 hasn't been announced yet. So once that is announced, we will get to know the updates. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Shakil, do you have a short update on Baber Bridge? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to update regarding the Baber Bridge, near the Staines Road, near Pulsar Station. The Baber Bridge project remain in design stages. There will be a further update in spring 2026. This will not be the due for the update on the action plan until then. If the community would like any further information, please speak to the councillors who can connect you relevant traffic officer to colleague and support this project. Thank you.
It's a very important project, isn't it, for Baber Bridge,
Yes,
the widening?
during the traffic, there is a lot of traffic, and then I think it's gonna big project. It's gonna take a time, might be the end of this year they're gonna start it.
Yeah, that's good. Who is giving the request for updates? Kuldeep Tak again. Thank you, Kuldeep.
Thank you, Chair. We continue to ask the community to make suggestions to addition to the action plan. Now, we know several great community projects have happened in Feltham North, just like the installation of a cricket pitch, the work at the Donkey Woods. We are also working with some of the resident groups to introduce CPZ in their local areas. Now, we can't promise all of the suggestions that come from the community will form part of the action plan, but we are always happy to speak to you. We want you to speak to us, to your councillors, to the community development team, to bring forward the ideas that we can add in the action plans. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuldeep. Just turning to Feltham West Ward, our ward. Hina, you've got something for the Grosvenor Park Residents Association, which is really good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So we have an update on Grosvenor Park Residents Association. The group have been working on speaking with other residents in the area to increase awareness and involvement by sharing information door to door and chatting with fellow residents and neighbours. Views so far on ideas for improvements were generally approving, with some seemingly requiring a bit more information, but none disapproving. There was some successful support with clearing from Rose Tree Estates, which was positive. The group have taken a break over the colder winter period and will regroup and consider their next steps soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Hina. Yeah, I spoke to Will Horgan, who's the president, or the secretary-president of the Grosvenor Park Residents Association the other night. He can't be here, his wife is poorly, and some very positive things happening there on Grosvenor Park and Rochester Avenue. So if you are in that neck of the woods, please help Will and the team. We'll get in behind there. And we've done a lot of work on that estate over the years with the alleys, the adoption of the railway alley, which used to be just overgrown and a fly-tipped mess. We got the council to adopt it. It's now clean, it's surfaced, lit, and we'll keep going. Okay, and a request for updates from Medea, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. Now, we were very fortunate to see in 2025 some great community-led projects and initiatives, and it's testament to the great community spirit that you mentioned earlier, Chair, in Feltham West. As councillors, we obviously want to continue to support our residents to see more of this. So if you do have a community initiative or a project that you wish to share with us, please do get in touch, either with ourselves or with our community development team. You can see Emily at the end. We can take some details and see how we can support you. They can be simple things like community-led litter picks, tree planting, walking and running clubs. So we'll try our best as elected members to support you in the best way we can. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Maddie. Moving over to the Bedfont team, Radwinder, you've got something for us. Well, Bedfont High Street.
Thank you, Chair. Regarding Bedfont High Street, the traffic problem where people parking on the footpath. So there is a funding now. Found the funding for that. So the work will start in February, and end of February, hopefully the bollards will be there. So that's moving forward. Traffic already agreed that they will identify the location for the bollards, and they will place the bollards.
Okay, that's very positive. Lily, Bedfont Pits and the adjacent land. This is a really interesting one, especially for the history group as well. Bedfont Pits, please.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, so this is an issue that's been going on for a while now, we've kind of really put all our efforts into try and get some kind of solution. So, and I've been giving you regular updates. So, since the last update, we've had quite a lot of activity around this. We had groups of officers across the council to visit the area, along with cabinet members, and actually I'd like to thank cabinet members for attending as well. We had the cabinet member for waste and recycling and community safety to turn up as well. So what we did is a massive clear up, basically removing all of the rubbish and and maintaining it. Unfortunately, as soon as it was removed, I think it was fly tipped again. So the lantern went back again to remove the rubbish. So, and obviously this is through council revenue funds that we're costing the work. However, the footpath remains adopted under the highway, which means that it's actually under the care of Hounslow Highway, so they'll be responsible for litter picking the path every fortnight and inspect the footpath for any defects and obviously test all the lighting, etc. So in terms of moving forward, I think we've talked quite a lot here, haven't we, today, about community pride, haven't we, of the community getting together and really taking action. And I think this is, again, an area where, if, for example, we were able to get a Friends of the area group to support the maintenance of this area, so that we all kind of take ownership of the fact that actually, you know, this is the place that we live and we don't want people to fly tip here. So if you've got any ideas and you're interested in being part of this group, I think that would be really helpful. It's like Friends of Parks groups who all get together and they've got ideas about, you know, their local park and their area. So, yeah, but we'll keep at it. And we still, obviously, the part of the area of Bedfont Pits doesn't actually belong to the council. That's private ownership. We're still in debate, discussions around what happens there. Unfortunately, I can't give you a feedback on that because I don't actually know what the latest is, but I will find out on that. But the main thing is that the rubbish was cleared, maintained, and we've got to just keep an eye on it and hopefully get a permanent solution. Thank you.
There's a lovely nature reserve out there too. There's some little things that nature has made, and if we can sort out the ownership and, you know, work with the former landowner if they want to work with the council, then we can make something really nice over there. It's a real project, that one. Okay, Adesh, you have a request for items for the Bedfont team.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we are seeking further items from the community for Bedfont Action Plan. We knew across Bedfont there are projects and ideas that the community have which could become item for the action plan. From greening project to creation of community or residence group, seeking funding for sports or leisure activities to benefit our young people. These are just examples. Your ideas are important to us and we want to hear from you. Not everything will be suitable to be added to the action plan, but we will work with you to link and support you to relevant teams or services where we can. Please speak with us, your councillors, or the community development team should you have an idea. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, folks, if you think of something, you sorry? Oh, your mic's still on. Guys, you can contact individual councillors if something comes up that you think should be part of the action plan, and we'll do our best to include it. This is something we pushed a lot in the last 2 years, and I think it's borne some fruit. So let's carry on with that. Members, thank you very much indeed for those updates. Okay, folks, Any other business? We seem to have come to the end of this particular round. Any other business from members? Nothing that I've been made aware of. Okay, thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the meeting. Thank you so much for coming. Stay strong. The next meeting will be on Thursday the 12th of March, probably, which is less than 2 months away. So thank you very much for coming. If you need to speak to the police or anyone else, Emily has got something to say before you go, please. She's out. Here she is. Guys, you've got feedback sheets on your chairs. If you'd like to give us some feedback on the way this session's gone, then please do. Please do. Thank you very much indeed.
Please do give me some feedback. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.